Hey, what's going on? Welcome back to the Creatively Challenged podcast, where we talk movies and entertainment news. And it's me doing the intro. It's Dan because, some stuff came up with Ryan, so he's not going to be a part of this podcast. But luckily, we've got another guy here who's going to step in today, and I'll let him introduce himself.
Well, Danny, I appreciate it. This is Nick Stuglis, Mike Stuglis' brother, just down here in beautiful Columbia, Missouri, visiting for the weekend.
It's up for you, though.
Yeah.
No, it's not up.
It's sideways.
Is it sideways?
It's directly west, pretty much. It's about 450 miles.
Columbia's not that beautiful, though.
No, but the campus is nice. There's a lot of construction going on, though. I'm pretty
That's bullshit.
pretty
It's
upset
gay.
about that.
Construction's gay.
So it's
Well, let's not
you
be
know let's
problematic.
let's not be problematic
Nick,
here.
You're now our most recurring guest.
Well, I appreciate
this
the
is your second
opportunity.
appearance, right?
I very much appreciate the opportunity, and because Ryan's not here today, I'm happy to be able to step in.
Yeah. Well, the last time you were on, we reviewed Baby Driver,
Yes, we did.
and you spoiled the movie, and Ryan had to put in a clip of Pulp Fiction.
It was hilarious.
He put in Jules saying Royale with cheese, where Nick gave away a plot detail for Baby Driver. But today, let's try to avoid spoilers as we talk about Blade Runner.
I will not
Oscar
spoil the movie.
Pistorius, 2049. Do you remember Oscar Pistorius?
Yes,
The guy
I
who
remember
killed his
Oscar.
wife?
He
Yeah.
killed his wife.
He
Yeah,
was an
but-
actual Blade Runner.
So I get it. Yeah, he had blades for legs,
Mhm.
and he was running because he ran in the Olympics.
Yeah.
Now-
And then he killed his wife.
And then he
but
killed
not
his wife.
with the blade.
No, there was a
Separate
nice little,
incident.
What if he had,
nice
like,
little shotgun
actual-
that he used, right?
Wasn't he
Yeah,
blow her head
yeah.
off?
It was like
This
it
is
was like
fucking-
it was like a home shotgun. So he used it to protect from intruders, but he used it to fucking shoot his wife.
Probably not good.
No.
Not an ideal
It's
situation.
probably messy. Probably a lot of blood.
The more I find out about this guy, the more I don't like him.
He's probably a piece of shit, Mike.
It's probably a safe assumption.
All right, but I didn't give a proper introduction to Mike. So Mike, what's going on with you today?
Nothing. Ryan and I got the ingredients earlier for our chicken parm later.
Oh yeah, we are making chicken parm later. It's gonna be delicious, unless it's not.
It's probably going to be
Although
delicious.
I'd like to
because
think it'd be delicious, right?
we put in little effort into structuring this week's episode, guys, we were watching football before this, so we're just gonna break down the first 4 or 5 weeks of the NFL season so far and give some Super Bowl predictions or fucking playoff predictions because Ryan's not a football guy, but all three of us
We can do it.
football
Yeah.
guys.
Big football guys.
You got to do your John Gruden.
Now, I'll tell you what, man, about these first 4 to 5 weeks of the NFL season, we don't really know who's good and who isn't yet. I really can't put a prediction on who's going to win this Super Bowl, man. Want to know what I had for breakfast this morning? I had a Super Bowl of Lucky Charms, man. And it was pretty good, man.
I wish everybody could see Danny's face right now.
Yeah.
Just look up face of John
A
Gruden.
little bit of constipation going on there.
Yeah. But I mean, I stand by my Gruden point. Like, I really don't know who's gonna win the Super Bowl. I mean, I'm a New England Patriots fan, and I straight up can't just say they're gonna win the Super Bowl. I can't say that anymore. And I can't pick out one team that really looks like a threat. Everybody doesn't seem that impressive this year.
It's not everybody's meshing. So
Yeah.
let's talk about the Patriots for a second.
Let's
right?
just do the fucking football thing now, and then we'll
Yeah.
jump in. We'll do an oddly structured episode. So we'll do the news and close with Blade Runner. Let's just talk about football right
Well,
now.
yeah, I mean we're
We got-
watching it
we got
right now
3
too. We
football
got
games going on around our heads, and I turn my head to the right. We've got the
One's muffering.
we've got the Giants. We've got who are the Giants playing?
they're playing the Chargers. So you got the Los
yeah, they're
Angeles
on the-
Chargers and Giants, and then you got
That's
the
a
San Francisco
fucking-
49ers
That's a fucking race
and
to the toilet
Indianapolis
bowl.
Colts, and then we have the Lions and
Panthers.
the Panthers.
2 of the 3 games are possible toilet bowl teams.
Possible toilet bowl teams.
And all the games today, I don't care because the Patriots played on Thursday night and the Bears don't play until tomorrow night on Monday. Well, when you guys are listening to this podcast, the Bears will be on later tonight. And then also,
Bears are on Monday, Danny.
Yeah, and Mitchell the Bitchell's playing.
yeah, I know.
I thought you said later tonight.
Yeah, we released
we're
this on
gonna
Monday.
upload this on tomorrow morning when it's Monday, and when people are listening to it on Monday, the Bears will be on later on tonight. Because we're talking in the future right now. It's the future.
The way of the future.
The way of the future.
The way of the
The
future.
way of the future. The way of the future.
Spoiler alert. The podcast isn't released till Monday.
The fuck you talking about?
What are you
That's
doing?
You just said. Don't interrupt.
Yeah.
Speak when spoken to. All right.
So
what do you guys think of these Chiefs? We're in Missouri
I
right
don't know,
now.
like they're 4-0. Here's the thing about the Chiefs and being in the AFC, they look like a powerhouse and everybody's like, "Oh, the Chiefs are going to win the Super Bowl." I still think they fall under that umbrella. Like, I don't know if they will or not. Because what Andy Reid does, Andy Reid's an incredible coach. But, like, the Chiefs go, like, 11-5 every year and then just lose in the playoffs. Like, that's just what happens. That's what the Chiefs do. So I don't see them doing anything different.
If they have a chance, it's through their defense, and all they need is Alex Smith to make the right plays and not be overly conservative.
Yeah.
Well, let's be honest here about the Chiefs, right? That defense is amazing right now.
Them and Denver probably
they
have
have the 2 best defenses for sure. But Alex Smith right now has some weapons on that offense. Andy Reid, that team got him, it's exactly what he needs.
The pizza's done, Nick. Can you go get it?
I'm in the middle of my talking points right now, Danny.
Go ahead.
Anyways, talking about the Kansas City Chiefs.
Nick and I have a pizza in the oven. And,
Yeah, Mike's going to go get it.
Just finish up.
Mike's going to go get it. Perfect timing, Danny.
Oh, man.
Anyways, back to the Chiefs. I think that they are a Super Bowl threat, but you're absolutely right. What has been their downfall, though? Not being able to score points in the playoffs. They finally have a team. They finally have some weapons on that team that I believe that if they could stay healthy, they're going to be might be my number one right now. Number one right now for sure.
Anybody you like in the NFC?
The NFC's tough right now.
I know.
If you think so, and if you really do think about it. But, the Falcons, everybody was, kind of criticizing them at the beginning of the year. They weren't going to have the year that they were going to have like they did last year.
Yeah.
I kind of still see that. I think they have a few gaps that they need to fill. More on the offensive side of the ball than the defensive side.
Yeah. No, but, I mean, you think NFC, like Aaron Rodgers and the Packers, like they're probably just going to be there.
They're probably going to be there this year. They do if they could stay healthy, though.
Yeah.
It's all about it. That's what it's all about. Their defense too is not
too
it's
good.
not performing.
No, and like I think what I want most in the Super Bowl this year is thank you. Mike is serving us pizza.
Like a G.
On a plate. But this fucking table is just so condensed right now. There's a lot going on. There's a lot going on.
Are we talking about the NFC?
Yeah. Okay. So, my dream Super Bowl is Patriots Packers. I want to see Aaron Rodgers and Tom Brady duel it out, and it could be like Tom Brady's like last Super Bowl. And that'd be really cool to see that. A huge like quarterback matchup in the Super Bowl would be fucking awesome like that. But again, we don't know.
I'm also very high on the Steelers.
They look terrible the first 4
they
weeks.
don't look too good.
Their offense is really streaky right now.
And Big Ben is walking around in a boot again, and like he's always just got a walking boot on.
Dude, he's gonna retire after this year. He was contemplating it after
yeah.
last season.
Yeah,
I think he's kind of done.
He got old really quick.
He's still Big Ben. He's just not he's not elite anymore.
He's been beaten around for years.
Yeah.
He's one of those quarterbacks that just keeps trucking along.
Well, he's a fucking monster of a man. What is he, like 6'5"?
He's a fucking offensive lineman playing quarterback.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, the most similar physique is probably Cam or Prescott. Even Dak's kind of slimmed down a little bit. I thought he looked bigger in college.
I think Dak is right at where he needs to be right now.
What's the Cowboys' record? 3-2.
2-2.
2-2.
They lost to the Rams last week, who look really strong too right now.
Let's talk about the Rams for a second.
Actually, the Rams do.
Dude, they're kind of hung. They're
Yeah.
scoring a lot of points,
Right?
and like Goff's actually like watchable this year. Gurley looks like Todd Gurley. He looks like the best back actually, right? No, Kareem Hunt does from
Yeah,
Kareem
Chiefs.
Hunt is having a season. Obviously, it's his first year, but the reason why he's so like exciting to watch is he's had a big run every single week.
Yeah.
in the fourth quarter.
In
All
the-
50% of his yards
Man,
have come in the fourth quarter.
I love seeing big runs in the NFL. You know, like I mean, you don't see a lot of big runs anymore since the NFL's gone to big time passing league. Like, it's cool to see breakaway runs, and you know, I think the run is actually coming back.
It
It
definitely.
is
I mean, 'cause,
definitely
like,
like
and-
Fournette
'cause
was
it-
high pick, Cook was a high pick, and then
Yeah.
this year Saquon Barkley's gonna be a high
Yeah,
pick.
no,
too.
I mean in college, I mean when we were watching the games yesterday, like there were so many like good running backs in college football right now, and I think offenses are going back to it. And I mean, when you got a good run game, you
control
know,
the clock.
yeah, and you can take, and that's the thing, when people have to focus on your run game as a defense, then if you've got threats on the outside, there's your pass game right there. If you're biting on the runs, then you can get some passes off later on in the game.
It opens everything up. I do want to say one thing. This can be very confrontational. All the people that are criticizing the NFL right now for not being as high scoring, fast paced, whatever it may be, they don't know what real football
Well, we
is.
just gotta go watch college then. I love college as much as the next guy, but like I watch football for the art of football, and that's every position being done correctly. you know?
Absolutely.
Well, that's like people who criticize the NBA, like, oh, those guys don't play defense. Oh, all this, there's so much scoring, and it's not like college basketball. Dude, it's because the college basketball players fucking suck.
Yeah.
Like 95% of players in college basketball like aren't gonna make it well in the pros and like do well, and like that's just the reality of what college sports is. Like a lot of these kids just kind of suck, and they're not worthy of the league. The league is the best of the best.
Danny,
they're out
quick
there
question
playing
for you.
defense, and they're out there scoring because they're professionals and they're fucking the best.
Danny, quick question. For each team, how many players dress in the NBA?
12,
12
13.
to 15.
I think it's 13, right?
The NBA is the most
Thir-
difficult sport to make it to the next level. To make.
Oh
it.
yeah,
Oh,
for
yeah.
sure.
And you're absolutely right. College basketball, it's all filtered by these mediocre players.
Yeah, people think it's good defense that why there's low scoring
Like,
games
just
in
missed
college
shots.
basketball. No, it's because there's so many more missed shots and kids suck. Like,
Fuck, what were we talking about before? I wanted to talk about a specific team. Oh, I think part of the reason like Kareem Hunt's doing so well right now and Alex Smith's doing so well, I think that line's like not getting enough credit. Like everyone talks about fucking Dallas's line and like all the elite ones. Like, what's that making noise? Is that your computer, Nick? There's like a fan blowing. Hold on, guys. There's a fan blowing, and I
It's
feel like
Danny's
it's loud.
computer right now.
that's Ryan's computer, and that's the one that this podcast is being recorded on. I can hear it, but
Does turning down the brightness do anything?
It's not gonna at all show up in the podcast.
no, I think that the computer's just running on a high level right now. But I've never heard this before.
We're marveled.
Not
at it.
usually from Max.
Well, whatever. We're still recording, so everybody's hearing this. We're having some computer problems, which is kind of funny, and
It's
you guys get a kick.
Ryan's
going
the
away.
computer guy.
Yeah.
Ryan's the computer.
It's going
guy.
away, everybody. It's okay.
Jesus Christ, you trying to
Well,
fucking yell the
Jesus,
ears
yeah,
off the
calm
people?
down.
Dude,
People aren't
aggressive.
gonna want to listen.
No, they're like, who's this buffoon from Kentucky talking about fucking nonsense?
I'll tell you what.
I'm gonna make.
What were we talking about? Fucking college players sucking.
Yeah, but then Mike brought back the Kareem Hunt thing, and he was a
talk
little.
about their line.
He got interrupted by the computer. So
Whatever. Kinda
you were
odd.
talking about the Kansas City Chiefs offensive line, correct?
Yeah, it's just I don't think they're getting enough credit as most offensive lines don't.
Offensive lines just don't.
They only get blamed when they're fucking like they let up sacks. Like this year, they're like, oh, Brady's line sucks. He's getting hit. It's like we didn't talk about the line all the years he wasn't getting hit.
Right.
That's just being a lineman who's gone through some shit.
I'm gonna drop the bomb real quick.
What are you being so?
Let's talk about the Chicago Bears. We're all Bears fans here.
Well, you want to talk about Mitchell the Mitchell?
No, I want to talk about. We can talk about Mitch.
Well, we got to. That's a big story for tomorrow night.
It's a huge story.
Yeah.
Do you know what do you know what he tweeted years ago when he was in high school?
What did he tweet?
I love kissing titties.
I love kissing titties too.
But that's our quarterback. He loves kissing titties.
That was in high school, though.
I can only imagine what he did in college.
Probably did pretty well for himself.
Maybe.
Like, this guy,
He's only a one-year starter.
do you guys kiss titties? That's not what you do with them. I mean, you can. It's definitely an option.
Kiss is a polite word.
They're more for grabbing.
Let's get back to football, shall we?
Yeah. So, I think them letting Mitchell play is kind of too early for my liking. Because the reason why they signed Mike Glennon was to have him play like 8 to 10 games and just kind of like, because they're paying that man. So, like, have him play 8 to 10 games, like the Bears be like 3-7 in those games, if that, and then then let the kid go because the season's already out the window at that point in time. So see what he can do then.
Pressure's off.
But now he's going in game 4, game 5, and he's facing an intra division rival in the Purple People Eater.
That's a good team.
Yeah,
and
they are.
They're a good team. They've got a good defensive line, and they're going to be coming after him.
And our line is terrible.
And the Bears' offensive line is just awful. So
I don't
I think-
agree with that statement.
What, the Bears line?
The Bears line is not as bad as people think.
Well,
it
who's
is.
to blame? Glennon for just being shit?
Glennon is the worst fucking quarterback I've seen on the Bears in years.
Well, my counterpoint is Dan and I haven't been able to I'm judging off last year because we don't get the games down here, and I know you have seen like all the Bears.
Let me tell you something about this offensive line. Okay, when Kyle Long was injured in the beginning of the season, we did struggle a little bit, but it's not like Glennon was on his back. We have good run blocking and we have decent pass blocking since Kyle Long's back.
Definitely the run blocking's there. I can
It's
see that
definitely
with
there.
Howard and Cohen.
It's definitely there. Just Glennon can't move.
I watched some of the Packers game, and like I feel like Glennon like tries to move, but he can't because he's not an agile quarterback, and like he just kind of like dances in the pocket a little bit and almost like forces some of the sacks.
He looks like he's moving in
so
molasses. Like
Yeah,
Manning used his unconventional and like kind of like being uncoordinated, I guess, to his advantage because he moved with momentum in the pocket. Like he had really good footwork. Glennon just looks like he's fucking stagnant. And like there's stagnant like Cutler where he just uses all of his upper body, and there's stagnant like Glennon where you just look fucking slow.
He was not gifted with coordination and mobility.
No,
It's unfortunate. The guy's a backup quarterback.
but Trubisky's got that. So
He does.
yeah.
100%.
So he's got that, but I just think it's too early.
I agree, Danny. I think it
it's
is
too
too
early.
early.
Yeah.
But I will not deny that I'm excited to see it. I'm excited to see like what this kid's got, and us as Bears fans though cannot be too critical of him.
No,
We gotta like support him. He's not gonna just come out and just
Dude, like
destroy.
he's like got a lot of potential.
He has a
he's
lot
just-
of potential.
he's the rook, and the thing is, I mean, not a lot of Bears fans are thinking the way we do. They want this guy in there now. A majority of Bears fans want this guy in there now. So the fans are getting what they want. So you're gonna have to, if this guy to tell you the truth, like he might not do well this season, and that's not gonna be his fault. He's a rookie quarterback, and you're throwing him in in Game 4. So, you know, like it's you know, I just hope that Chicago isn't too like critical of him early on.
Well, I just say, like, as an example of, I mean, we're in the day, and like, look at the Browns. If their rookie Qs perform poorly, they just get rid of them. They keep recycling their quarterbacks, and that's not how you can be, because rookies are usually meant to be taken, and it used to be like, look at Rodgers, like they're taken as a prodigy and they're supposed to learn, but now in this day and age, they're just getting thrown in and expected to do well. So like, I would just say, look at like Jared Goff, who has come like so far last year. Like, he was having games last year where he was throwing for like 70 fucking yards. And now he's managing their offense. So I think it's just kind of all due process. You got to let him get a full off season as him as the starter and do this stuff. So I think Trubisky sucks. I really don't want us to be like fucking like kill his personality, but us as Bears fans could definitely do that because we give up on people so easily.
Well, that's what I'm,
Like, Urlacher had his one bad season, and I was one of the fans where I'm like, he's done. You got to get him out of there. And like, that's how quick the switch can turn.
Yeah, especially in Chicago. I mean, like it's rough. I mean, if you suck but play hard, like, people are gonna love you. But like, if you suck and don't have like the right attitude about it, like, everybody's gonna hate you. Like, there was a little bit where people hated Kyle Long before he became a captain on the Bears, because Kyle Long made a statement about how fans were booing. We were at that game,
The Miami game.
Yeah, Mike and I were at that game a couple years ago. The Bears lost to the Dolphins very embarrassingly. Tannehill was running read options and gaining like fucking 25 yards a carry, and it was ridiculous. And then we were booing because it was terrible. Cutler got sacked like 3 times that game. 2 of them came from long side, so we were booing. And that's kind of when shit started to go down. Like, Brandon Marshall started having problems in the locker room. Kyle Long like blamed the fans because they were booing. And for a while, like, people hated Kyle Long, but now everybody knows like he's great personality. He does a lot for the city now, and they made him a captain.
He's the foundation of our offense.
Yeah,
it's true.
Yeah.
But not to be too negative. But I finally understand the fact that the Bears are not going to be good until the fucking McCaskies sell the football team.
Or until fucking Virginia fucking croaks it and dies.
Oh, my God. She's terrible.
It
is so bad.
The thing is, it's their business. So, like, I don't see any way they would sell it. I want them to, but, like...
She says it'll be the second coming of Christ before the Bears are out of her family.
Then, Virginia, I just want you to know
Fucking
this. Your
let's go.
team will never fucking be good.
Fucking Jesus, let's get it. Come on, get fucking...
Well, that's what we need.
Rise
we need,
and
like,
kill her.
No, we need like Walter Payton to come back from the dead and start running for the Bears again.
So,
all right, so
let's get into the news.
Yeah, we're 23 minutes into this movies and entertainment news podcast, and we haven't talked about any of that. So let's get rolling right into the news here. So, to start off, Jared Leto, who we just saw in Oscar Pistorius 2049, and he was the Joker in Suicide Squad, and he's won Oscars. But he's gonna play the late Hugh Hefner in a biopic. What do you think about that? He's got like the same head shape. So I think you can, pull that off. But why like, was this planned like within this last week that he died, or were they like planning to do this anyway?
I have no idea, but like, what comes to my mind is like, what is this gonna be about? Is this just gonna be like the fucking Wolf of Wall Street?
Probably like the uprising of Playboy and how it became like an international brand.
I'm happy when I see Leto cast in anything.
Yeah, I mean, because he started from nothing. I mean, we talked about Hugh Hefner last week on the podcast. Like, he started from very little, got a small loan, and now he built a gigantic
he's one of
company.
Hefner.
Yeah.
I was talking about Jared Leto.
Oh yeah, I was talking about Hugh Hefner.
But either way, Leto's one of the few I don't know why I'm blanking now. The fucking thing where you are the person, like on and off set with Daniel Day. Method acting. He's one of the few.
Yeah.
He's one. Yeah, there we go. I should know that term. He's one of like the few like true method actors that we have. Like for Blade Runner, he like was blind in the scenes he recorded because he's blind, and then for Dallas Buyers Club, he literally like lost all that weight. So he is able to absorb himself into his roles, and I wonder if like playing Hugh Hefner, if he's gonna sleep with a bunch of play women.
I'd like to think he does that already.
Yeah, he might. He's a good looking chap. Chap, what am I?
He
fucking.
Isn't he like a drummer for like a band? Like,
yeah, he is a musician of sorts.
Like isn't his band like 30 Seconds to Mars or something? Right?
Maybe.
Leto?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's in a band. But what are you looking at there?
Oh, I'm getting my streams up.
But Dan, what are you I think this is kind of interesting timing, but I just don't know how interested I am in a Hugh Hefner movie.
No, and that's why I'm curious, like whether or not this like this just came up because he like he just died and that's why they're gonna do it, or like they were actually planning to do it and it just so happens to be that he like died the same week they're gonna cast Jared Leto. So I don't know. I'm interested. Like you said, I mean, Jared Leto is a very talented actor, and he's got a lot of range, and he really puts himself into roles. And this is a good role. Hugh's story is worth telling, and you know, we'll just have to see if you know, it's a good movie or not. But you know,
I think the story is worth telling. I don't know how interesting it's gonna be though.
That's what I'm saying. Like what. I mean, he was a businessman, so there could definitely be like sides of him that nobody knew. So that's maybe why I'd be interested. But like, at face value, it's not the most appealing to me, I guess. And I'm usually all for biopics, but I don't know.
Yeah, I feel like I really don't know what it could be. You know, I mean, but we'll see. Anybody else have anything to say about this before we move on to the next topic, which is kind of dark?
Naked women in the movie might up its value.
You know what's better?
What's that?
Porn.
Oh man,
I don't know what that is.
Okay.
You're missing out. Porn's great, man. I love it.
Just get into a porn discussion.
Yeah.
What? So
no, let's talk about POV.
No. So Nick, how about you chew a little fucking louder?
Yeah. Don't be in the mic when you chew your food.
Yeah, it's unprofessional. Drink your coffee and yeah, that's picking it up. It's a good mic.
Only the best here.
Yeah. Anyway.
All right. Next.
He's learning.
Next piece of news.
Netflix is currently postponing the Punisher TV series starring John Bernthal because of the Las Vegas shooting that happened at the Jason Aldean concert. This was truly a tragedy. I went through almost half the day without even knowing that it happened because I often don't check anything but movie news because other news tends to piss me off. But this was kind of really shocking, and you know, but I do think we live in a super sensitive era. I don't see the necessity to postpone the Punisher show. The two things don't correlate.
No, it's not like the Punisher is like shooting concert goers in the show. Like,
No.
So I don't get why, you know, he's a fucking comic book character.
And right?
Like, he's a fucking comic book character. Like, you know, he fucking is killing non-existent people, and just because he uses guns to do so, like, you know, they gotta postpone this show, a show that a lot of people are excited about.
I'm really excited about it.
Yeah, very excited. It should be fucking awesome. But no, I agree with you. I mean, what happened in Las Vegas is terrible. That's not what we're trying to say here, that it's not, and that people are being too overly sensitive about what happened in Las Vegas. That's not what we're saying at all, because it was a terrible event, and I understand why people are sensitive about it. But to postpone a fictional television show because of its content on Netflix in light of what happened, is kind of bizarre to me, and I don't like it. Maybe it's because I'm actually a fan of the Punisher, and I was excited about seeing it like ASAP, like that's why, But I mean I don't know how people feel about it
and
in Las Vegas.
They say postponed, so let's assume it was coming out mid-October in a couple weeks. What, like mid-November now? That's probably their rest time, I would assume, right?
Yeah.
They probably wait a full month or so, because I don't know how long you want to, wait on it. Nick, you watched Daredevil with John Bernthal and the Punisher, and I'm assuming you're going to watch the new series.
I am going to watch the new series. I'll definitely check it out. This is the first time I'm actually hearing that it got postponed because of the Las Vegas shooting. But I agree that it doesn't correlate, and why would they postpone a TV show from an event that happened?
Well, it's like, who's gonna? I don't know everybody's mind out there, but are you really gonna watch the show and be like, this is insulting to the people of Las Vegas? Like, no, this show's been in development for fucking like 2 years at Netflix.
My 2 cents is, if you don't want to watch the show and it's gonna make you feel a certain way, then don't watch the fucking show.
Yeah. I mean, I don't want to sound like cynical or mean, because Las Vegas was horrible. I mean, it was really a heartbreaking thing to read and watch the videos, but like, I don't see the correlation at all.
No, I really don't. It's, again, he's a fictional comic book character, and it's a fictional show, so I think it's kind of lame, but it's whatever.
Let's move to the next.
Yeah, I mean, we haven't gone through a tragedy of what happened in there. Maybe it was like, people in Las Vegas not wanting to see the show, but, whatever.
We won't know.
It'll be good. It'll be good whenever it comes out anyway. So whenever the Punisher comes out, it's gonna be good whenever it comes out.
They're building anticipation.
Ooh.
I don't think that's what it is.
No.
It's all a ploy to get people excited.
59 people are dead.
Very unfortunate. I'm not trying to make light or, be funny about the situation at all.
I think you are, you heartless asshole.
I'm a piece of shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, want to know what else is funny?
You goddamn Republican.
Yeah. Nick, is 9/11 funny?
No, not really.
9/11 was a national tragedy.
It was. It affected everybody.
9/11.
This is recorded just for the record, but Danny is losing his shit right now over 9/11.
All right, let's move on to the next topic before we start getting into why 9/11 was funny.
It's not funny. Everybody listening to the podcast right now, it's not funny.
We just lost all credibility on
we
the
don't,
Las Vegas thing.
We don't support acts of terror or.
We talk about terrorism way too much on this podcast.
Do we?
Yeah, we talked about Boko Haram and ISIS a couple episodes ago, too. Remember when Ryan went into the other room to get something? He's like, are you kidding me?
Boko Haram's kind of funny, though. All right.
Official drink of Wolf Cola.
Yeah.
Official sponsor.
Okay, so let's move on away from terrorism. So we got some Star Wars Episode 8 news coming out. Well, actually, today, the day in which you guys are going to be listening to this, is actually a new Star Wars trailer out. So you might have already seen the Star Wars trailer at the time in which this is out. But this is just general Star Wars Episode 8 news. So, Supreme Leader Snoke, who's basically like Emperor Palpatine.
But played by Andy Serkis.
His guards are called Praetorian Guards, which were a division of the Roman military back during the Roman Empire. And these special guards were specially trained in combat to protect the Roman emperor of the time. And so
kind of like Krennic and his Death Troopers.
Yeah, so I kind of like how Star Wars is just doing the whole Roman Emperor callback and actually calling them Praetorian Guards. Like, that's fucking awesome.
I agree. I mean, and you know what are you laughing about?
Just Danny's face.
You know what?
I was looking deep.
He's got the Gruden grin all the time.
I was just like looking deep into Nick's soul as I was reading that entire.
He didn't read anything though.
No, I was just talking about Praetorian Guards.
And you did a phenomenal job.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, not an easy word to pronounce. You know what's funny?
Praetorian.
So when I asked you, I was like, Praetorian Guards. What is that? When on the pre-show, and then we started sitting here, and I'm like, I fucking learned about that in lecture last week, and I didn't know what it was immediately.
That's sad.
Yeah,
you paying attention in class?
Yeah, doing well in Western Civ. I plan on teaching it one day, so I kind of should know what
good.
these things are.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is awesome, and actually the pictures look really cool. They don't look the same as Palpatine's guys.
But they're like red guys, kind of like Palpatine's guys, but they've got like pants on,
and
not
their
like
weapons
big
look
robes.
really cool.
Their weapons can actually, from what I think, they've got like this staff that can like be electrocuted. I think it's one of those things. Similarly to that, like that stormtrooper weapon that
In
can
Force
actually
Awakens.
stop lightsabers.
Yeah, the one in Force Awakens.
Yeah, so like that's pretty cool. Because I like to see that, whoa, I had a big pizza burp there. I like to see the bad guys have weapons to stop lightsabers that aren't other lightsabers.
Dude,
that's pretty cool.
I want to see these guys. Dude, I want to see the Knights of Ren so badly.
Oh, man.
They just talk about them, and
I
the
know.
idea of them so cool, but I don't even know if they're still a thing.
They probably, or maybe the Knights of Ren, like Snoke put them up to the fucking task, and Kylo's the only one who's left, or Snoke just has like other guys just standing by.
Maybe. Or maybe these guys
Though
are
not
like...
every single one of them had a lightsaber.
What, the Knights of Ren? No, they were just like an elite task force, and he was their leader. Because I think they were kind of like the Inquisitors, right? They were meant to like, kind of like, take out remaining... Well, no, it can't be take out remaining Jedi because there aren't any left. Hunt down the Republic, maybe?
Yeah, lightsaber wielders. Do you think they were... because the Inquisitors in the Star Wars Rebels TV show, they are lightsaber wielders. Though they can't use the Force. They're they're not Jedi.
Yeah.
So you can be a lightsaber wielder and not use the Force.
Right.
So maybe that's what they are. But how did Luke have like a school of Jedi? Where do you think all the kids were Force sensitive? They probably were if he was teaching them the ways of the Jedi.
I think so.
Well, they're all dead.
Yeah.
So Kylo, Rey, and Luke, and Leia are the only ones we know who has like the Force.
Kylo's gonna do some fucking shit in this next episode.
Leia's probably gonna die.
Yeah. Well, Carrie's dead.
Yeah. Unfortunately. It's not funny. Nick, you excited about Star Wars?
Jumping with joy.
Yeah, you really look and sound like it.
It'll be interesting. I just can't analyze it the way that you guys can. Let me just put it that way.
Well, I know you weren't a huge fan of Episode 7, but are you a fan of seeing future installments?
I'm a fan of Star Wars regardless. Just
Okay.
because I wasn't a huge fan of that movie.
You really liked Rogue One, right?
I loved Rogue One.
Yeah, Rogue One was awesome.
But just because I don't like one of them doesn't mean I'm not going to keep
Right.
seeing. So we saw that trailer for like during the beginning of Blade Runner. I got goosebumps.
And we've seen that trailer like thousands.
That was the first time I've seen that trailer. I don't go to the movies like you guys do.
Yeah, but it came out in April. You weren't on
He didn't
the
watch
internet?
it. No.
I am so not in tune with shit that's going on. Like the same thing with the Las Vegas shooting. I didn't find out till the day after.
Well, a lot of people didn't. Because it happened at like midnight Central Time. So I was in bed asleep. So it happened like 10 p.m. Vegas time. And, a lot of people just woke up to it.
Well, Nick, I know the one thing you said about Force Awakens is like you thought the new like characters and additions were cool, but you kind of thought it was just like the movie didn't really take any chances. It was like really formulaic.
I think it was just kind of thrown together just to put a movie out there.
That's what you thought.
It was not interesting to me.
Okay.
I disagree.
Well, no, I disagree. I'm just asking his criticisms.
A lot of people, the criticism of it is it's literally a rehash of episode 4.
It was a good setup,
which it kind of is.
I will say that it was a very good setup for the new movies.
I just hope that like episode 8 isn't just a recalling of like Empire Strikes Back.
No one should ever try to even recreate that movie. That's one of the greatest movies ever made by itself, so it's pretty high expectations. Like, no Star Wars movie is ever going to be better than Empire Strikes Back.
No, but it very well could be because, look, Rey's off doing like secret Jedi training with an old Jedi Master. That's
Argo, Luke, and Yoda.
And then like the big pilot is off doing missions, and Finn will probably team up with them. But it's like, like the main cast of characters is separated. So like this very well could be like, and the Resistance just had a big loss, just like the Empire did at the end of the original Star Wars going into Empire Strikes Back. So it's setting up to be very similar. I just hope it's not. Because the only thing that was different and crazy at the end of episode 7 was that Kylo killed Han Solo. So,
his father.
Yeah, and so,
I think we can move on. We can theorize all day.
Yeah, we could just sit here and talk about what's going to happen in Star Wars. But
this started with the Praetorian Guards.
And now we're talking about what's going to happen. Okay, so.
Oscar Pistorius 2049.
No, we've got another.
We got one more.
One more news topic. And then we're talking about Oscar Pistorius.
I just wanted to say Oscar Pistorius. What a great guy.
Dude, isn't him killing his wife so funny?
It's hilarious that he doesn't have any legs in the first place.
Yeah, let's keep talking about what tragedies are funny.
Let's not.
The JFK assassination's funny.
Yeah.
What a funny scenario.
So is the Lincoln assassination. Want to know what nobody gives a fuck about? The McKinley assassination.
My favorite is Teddy Roosevelt, who got fucking shot and finished his speech.
Yeah, what a fucking hard ass. Dude. Teddy's a man.
Yeah.
I think he's like best president. He's my favorite.
Hey,
think again.
Dude, Teddy's hung. Him and FDR are awesome.
FDR is the best president.
He's a socialist, though. He was good for the time period.
That's what I'm saying.
He's what we needed.
For sure, 100%.
4 terms. He
kept the fucking United States together.
He got us out of the Depression with the New Deal.
Yeah, he did okay.
Herb Hoover was a fucking piece of shit.
Yeah, he was the Hoovervilles.
Yeah.
What was I gonna say? I was gonna talk about it. Oh, I like to Andrew Jackson. A guy tried to assassinate him. Well, he won duels, but there was another guy who tried to assassinate him, fucked up, and Jackson ran him down with his cane and beat the shit out of him. That's awesome. Anyway, we could talk about assassinations all day.
Do you know George Washington's teeth weren't actually wooden?
I know that. I know that's not a real thing.
Want to know what they were made of, though?
Wasn't it some sort of bone?
It was like a mixture of like gold, silver, and like other like donkey teeth. Some people say they actually made his dentures out of slave teeth.
Let's move on.
Yeah. Okay, so there was a new Justice League trailer that dropped today, and I like to assume it's like the last trailer for it. I mean, like the
It's called the Heroes trailer.
Yeah. And, I mean, the movie comes out in like a month, so they don't have a lot of time to be releasing more trailers. But the only thing I can say that I really liked about this trailer is it didn't spoil everything. And that's what you got to be careful about now with all the DC trailers. Because remember the final trailer for Batman vs. Superman a couple years ago?
Showed Doomsday.
It showed everything. It showed the entire plot of the movie. You knew exactly what was going to happen. I mean, like, clearly everybody knew, like, okay, Batman and Superman are probably going to team up at some point in time. But, like, we didn't know that it was going to be, like, with fucking... to fight Doomsday with Wonder Woman. And also in that trailer...
They showed Wonder Woman, too.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, so they fucked up. So now you got to be careful with this DC trailers. But this one today still did a really good job of, like, not showing anything. So they might... I think they learned from their mistake.
The fuck? I'm spacing out now. My big takeaway is I thought the special effects the first time I saw the trailer needed some touching up. I think they've done that. Actually, they've done a decent job in post production. It looks like Cyborg looks stupid as fuck.
Yeah.
Everything he said has been fucking dumb. Was the one in the new one? He's like, you need a ride, and the other one, he's like, looks like you could use a hand. It's like, shut the fuck up, whoever the fuck you are. And then Vincent Fisher is some stupid name. God, I'm not even giving this guy a chance. Watch when the movie comes out and be like, Cyborg sucked.
Yeah.
And everyone's gonna be like, Mike, you hated him even before you saw the movie. The banter between the characters, I don't know. We'll see. It looks kind of lame to this point. We'll see how the story is, but the visuals look really cool. And what's the Steppenwolf, the villain's name? His Warhammer looks fucking cool as shit. He's like leveling towns and stuff. And it looks like an apocalypse at the end. So I'm definitely thinking it's going to be style over substance, but it looks like there's going to be at least some cool shit in there.
And they were in like a field, like a gigantic, like empty field. So there's going to be a lot more destruction. I remember everybody's problem with going all the way back to Man of Steel is how they just fucking leveled a city.
Did the same thing.
And then they did the same thing in Batman v Superman.
Suicide Squad too, right?
Yeah. So there's going to be hella destruction, but they're just going to move it to like an empty field so there's not too much. Like, I don't think this gigantic battle is going to be in Gotham City.
No.
So, you know. Okay, so this trailer as well. It finally showed Henry Cavill and what he's doing in screen time, but it still didn't show us Superman.
Yeah, it showed him in a dream sequence with Lois Lane.
Yeah.
What?
You guys take this.
Yeah, I wasn't going to ask you. I know you haven't seen anything. Anyway.
Yeah, Nick, what did you think about this trailer that you didn't see?
No, sit back down.
I didn't see it, Danny.
Yeah, I know. You haven't seen any of these. It's okay. Only see Wonder Woman.
It's pretty good.
Only see Wonder Woman. As of this point. If they get better, I'll tell you which ones to watch.
I do know that I have to go see. I have to watch Wonder Woman.
Yeah.
Wonder Woman comes out on
It's out.
Oh, it's out on
I think my
Blu-ray.
mom picked it up for me, actually.
That's
might be-
Cody right there.
Yeah.
That might be a pickup for me.
I'm gonna watch it first.
Oh, before you don't buy movies anyway.
I don't buy shit.
Yeah.
I only like to buy movies that like I know I'm gonna watch. Like I've got the Star Wars movies, Harry Potter movies, and
It's a very good thing to have a collection
oh yeah,
of movies.
Yeah.
I just don't do it like you guys do, you know.
I mean, because Netflix doesn't have like the Star Wars movies or Harry Potter movies, so I need those.
Talk about Netflix though for a second. They're coming out with some good ass like.
Oh, we talk about Netflix on
Shit.
this.
I know you guys do.
Show every week.
I know you do.
So we got to bring it up at some point.
I've
Did
never.
you watch Stranger Things?
I still have not watched Stranger
Oh
Things.
man, it's so
Dude,
good.
new
Watch
season
it.
comes out October 27th. You should try to watch all 8 episodes.
It's an
before.
easy.
I'll
It's an easy watch too.
I'll try to get into it. I don't know if it's in my realm though of what I like to watch.
I mean, it's like if you. I know you're not a big like sci-fi guy, but if you like fucking Blade Runner, it's kind of in that. Well, no, it's not even close, but it's a sci-fi.
I do know
it's
it's a
It's
sci-fi.
kind of like a Stephen King book.
I don't read, Cotton.
I'm trying to think of what it relates to. It has some
It's-
elements of Stand By Me in
It's
it.
kind of like E.T. and meets Stand By Me.
Yeah, that's a good
Yeah.
way to describe it.
I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
it's
like
great.
that idea.
And the kids are really good actors.
The Red Sox are down fucking 3-0, and they're
They're
gonna
gonna
get
get
swept
yeah.
today. Yeah, it's not gonna be good. I'm pissed off.
Playoff.
Every game has started the same fucking way for the Red Sox. They're down 3-0 again.
Playoff baseball's phenomenal, but not until you get past the divisional series.
Not when your team.
I hate the divisional round. I hate it. I don't like that it's less games, too. Dude, Peyton's on screen.
Hung.
I kind of wish I could listen to what he's saying, dude. He's so awesome. Ugh.
David Letterman actually was the one that introduced. He talked
Really?
before, yeah.
David Letterman went to Ball State.
Uh-huh.
Ball
Good late
State.
night host, too.
So we were talking about the Justice League trailer. All right. So Superman wasn't in the trailer, and that's a good thing. It didn't reveal the plot and all that noise. Mike, you have anything else to say about it?
No, it's not going to be that good.
Yeah, Justice League comes out in a few weeks, and we'll have that review for you at that time. But now we've got a review for a movie we saw yesterday, it was the day before. It was Oscar Pistorius 2049. It was,
Nick, that goes through the charts, man. People's ears are fucking ringing.
yeah, you can't clap.
God, you are such a novice at this.
So we saw Blade Runner 2049, and it stars Ryan Gosling and kind of Harrison Ford. They put his name in there like he was a big name, but we'll get into that.
He did play a big
part
part in the
And
plot.
But he definitely wasn't in a lot of the movie.
No, he wasn't.
But it stars Jared Leto and
Robin Wright.
Robin Wright. But this movie is a sequel to Blade Runner from 1982, which follows a division of policemen called Blade Runners who hunt down robot people called replicants. And this one takes place 30 years after the original Blade Runner. So Blade Runner took place in 2019, and now this one is in 2049. If you can count to 30, you know that 2049 is 30 years after 2019. So in this one, there are brand new forms of replicants made by Jared Leto's character, who are like superior to the older replicants who always had an expiration date. Except for a few, but these ones do not, and they're like superhuman. And Ryan Gosling plays a new form of Blade Runner, where he actually is one of the newer versions of the replicants, and he has to hunt down the old replicants. So that's the plot of the movie. Spoiler free.
No spoilers.
No spoilers there.
And that's as base level as you're going to get, because it's a dense movie.
It is a very dense, it is a long movie, but that doesn't mean it's not really fucking good. So let's get into our positives. Mike, what are your positives for this movie?
This movie is, we talked about him last week, who might be doing a Cleopatra movie, is directed by Denis Villeneuve, who has done Sicario, Prisoners.
Oh, I forgot to mention that. Yeah,
And,
it was directed by Denis Villeneuve.
All shitty movies.
Dude, he's fucking not a big name, but he is one of the best working right
He does some good work, that's
Yeah.
for sure.
He knows how to capture a landscape.
Oh, big time.
And the best part of this movie by far is the eye candy put together by him and Deakins, the cinematographer, who's gonna win an Oscar for this movie. It's not even gonna fucking competition.
Yeah.
Maybe Dunkirk is in competition, but this movie is absolutely breathtaking in terms of visuals. I mean, the city looks just outstanding. What's the first shot of like all the solar panels?
Oh
you were
yeah,
talking about?
it shows like how all the energy is probably produced for that.
Yeah, and it's
for
like
the
a
city.
minute long of just solar panels. It's gorgeous.
It's solar panels, just barren, pretty much desert wasteland,
and
and not only that, the city of Los Angeles,
Mm-hmm.
how densely populated it is. There's no room for even like streets.
no. And
Well, and that's why there's flying cars in this
Yeah.
universe.
and so he captures that really well. I love the different locations they go to and all the different set designs. That was also fantastic. But to unpack the story a little bit, what I liked most is you got to pull that. We good?
Yeah.
Are we still rolling? All right. Fuck. What was I gonna say? Blah 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 blah. Oh, it maintains the the same feel as the first one. So I saw comments when I saw the first trailer, and they're like, "Oh, they're just gonna destroy the original and do an action blockbuster like they do." No, no,
That is not the case.
no. This is a noir investigative movie that takes place in the sci-fi universe, much like the first one, and it feels the same. And it is a story that I am really glad they told, that wrapped up some things that are hinted at in the first one. And so it didn't feel like the story was forced in. It felt like another chapter to these characters' lives, and you have some great introductions to some new cast members. Gosling, really, really good in this movie. I don't think I don't think I've ever actually said I didn't like Ryan Gosling in a movie. He's awesome, and he's, I think, probably one of the better actors working today. Does well with the physicality. I'm sure you guys want to talk about some other people, so I'll keep it short. Jared Leto has 2 or 3 scenes in this movie. Don't expect a lot of them, but he plays a pretty big role. I'll talk about his character in a little bit, but his scenes were he was so creepy in it. And also hats off to the girl who played his henchman.
I'm looking up her name right now.
Yeah. So those are my initial positives. Which one of you wants to go next?
I gotta say, Ana de Armas, who plays Joy, who's basically like the embodiment of Siri.
Leave it at that. Yeah, just leave it at that.
Yeah, she's a babe. I'd hold her hand.
No, I'm saying in terms of spoilers, just leave it at that.
Okay, so his henchman, her name was Love, and she is played by Sylvia Hoeks. She kind of looks like a guy version. No, she looks like a chick version of Ezra Miller.
Yeah.
She looks just like Ezra Miller, dude. Like, it kind of pissed me off. So Ezra Miller, he is in Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them. He plays Credence, and he's also about to play the Flash in Justice League.
Yeah.
And he
is not in this movie.
Is not in this movie, but that chick looks just like him. So get ready for that. Though she was really good, and she does a lot for the plot, and she serves as a great villain. And I really just got to say about this movie. Okay, I tried to watch the first Blade Runner on an occasion, like a couple years ago, and it was like the version where Harrison Ford like monotonously, monologues the movie and narrates it. And I fell asleep. It was late at night, and the way the Blade Runner movies are set up, okay, this one did a great job. Mike talked about it a little bit, how it felt like it was the same universe. This is a heavy drama, noir, detective movie. There's not a lot of action. That doesn't mean there's not, because there is, but this is a very emotionally invested movie. Like, I was so into it. There was a point like halfway through the movie where like I took a step back and just said, wow, like I am so into this movie right now. And a movie that's able to do that is fantastic. The cast was great. The visuals were stunning. The score was incredible. I want to study that. I want to like listen to it all the time. I want that score to like background my life. It'd be kind of weird to have like a futuristic like sci-fi score playing in a universe that's not really.
Isn't it really shocking too that Hans Zimmer did the score? So surprising that it was good.
Well, I didn't know that he was doing it. I was just like, this is great. But he used elements and songs from the original Blade Runner score, and then added more to this one. It was just so good. Well done by Hans Zimmer. I mean, that guy just does terrible work, doesn't he?
The worst.
Yeah. But other than that, this is a rich story. I'm glad it exists, and it could be in Oscar time, with some of the visuals and the sound and everything like that. And it was just very well done. So, I recommend you go see this movie. Nick, what are your positives about it? What did you like about it?
I'm not gonna
And
I'm not gonna harp on it too much because you two said pretty much everything. One thing I will say, I do want to point out. I guess it goes. I'll transition into the negatives as well.
Okay.
How about that?
Yeah.
Because I only got a few. One thing that I really enjoyed about the movie is it does get slow. I don't like that it gets slow, but because of the cinematography and the visuals, you're always engaged, or at least I was.
Yeah, I
agree. Whether somebody was talking on screen or whatever it was that was happening,
Or him just walking through the
it
landscape.
was one of the most amazing spectacles since Interstellar, I think, that I've seen as a movie.
I compared it to The Revenant in terms of how good the cinematography was.
The Revenant was great. When I watched The Revenant, though, it wasn't great quality. So I need to rewatch The Revenant to be able to see that.
When I say that comparison, I guess Interstellar is the same way because you kind of feel like you're on those planets. But when I was watching The Revenant, I felt cold when he was in the water or whatever he was doing. I always felt what situation he was in. And then when Gosling's walking through these places, rain's falling down. I feel like the rain's like hitting my face.
And snow.
And
the snow.
Yeah.
It was like snowing.
When he sticks his hand out and it's like falling into his... Oh, it's gorgeous.
Absolutely. But that's my main positive. You two touched on the other ones. I don't need to keep harping on that.
You were sucking Gosling's dick after the movie.
I didn't literally suck his dick. I just thought he was really, really good.
Yeah.
He gives you this blank stare the entire movie. He's just stone cold, and I don't know. I just really enjoyed his performance.
And then and then you get some scenes where you can like see it building in his eyes, and then slowly moves to his mouth. So he does a lot of acting through his expressions, and he does it really well. Like when he needs to be stone cold, he's badass. But then you see him crack a couple of times too. Yeah, he was great.
Absolutely. So I'll transition to the negatives.
Uh-huh.
I only have one.
Mm-hmm.
The movie didn't need to be that long. I think it dragged on certain parts. It's the buildup of the movie. This is no spoilers because I'm not going to even talk about anything specific. But the buildup to what they were trying to get at, it didn't need to be drawn out as much as it was. They did a very good job at explaining what was, what the buildup was how it was supposed to be. I think they did a great job at that standpoint. But I didn't think the movie needed to be that long.
I had that same opinion when I thought the movie was going in the direction with a certain character I thought it was, and then when it changed directions, I'm like, this needs to be long. That's what changed. I agreed with you, but then when it made that change, that's when it kind of made up for it with me. Like I was sitting there and I'm like, I don't know if I like this as much as the original. And then once it made that shift, I was like, I'm in. I'm in. And there's about an hour after they make that shift, or 45 minutes, 30 minutes, but it's...
Yeah, and the end of the movie is
on the
phenomenal.
water with the...
Yeah, we'll keep it general because there's just so much shit that happens in this movie. It's ridiculous.
It felt like an epic, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, we were talking about like what this movie was gonna be. I mean, we were talking last week about Angelina Jolie's like upcoming Cleopatra movie about old Hollywood epics like Ben-Hur and everything like that. This movie was like that. It was long, but it had so much substance and so much depth. It was just very well done. But in terms of negatives, I will say, you can't not talk about the length when it's negative. But for me, it's not a negative. I want people to know what they're getting themselves into. This movie is long. You're going to be sitting in the theater for 2.5 hours. Okay, you have to understand that. But it is a great story for that. But what I didn't like about it was I do have to say Robin Wright's character kind of was lame. I knew what I mean. She served her like purpose, but like I feel like she was kind of like just playing like the police guy from the first movie.
She was typecast. I think she was typecasted because she can play a strong, powerful woman, and I think that's what the role was written for.
Sure.
And I agree.
But like every time she was on screen, like like she would get like mad, and I felt like like it wasn't that convincing. But other than that, that's just me being nitpicky because it works for the movie. It really does. This movie is really well done. I don't really have a lot of negatives with it. But don't. I guess you can, but you can't hate the movie for its length. But it was just so good in the time that it had.
I agree on the, like I was talking to Nick, like it is undeniably long and it definitely drags, but like I wasn't pissed about it. It's kind of hard to explain.
Yeah.
So I'll leave it at that. It can be seen as either a positive or negative. I don't really know. But
sorry. One more negative. There's one scene where Ryan Gosling says, what does he say?
GD.
God damn it. Yeah, he says God damn it, and it was bad. But other than that, like, he did a really good job in the movie. But when he just says like God damn it, it was definitely like artificial anger. Like, it was kind of funny. That's what it seemed like. But other than that, yeah, it was a really, really fucking good movie.
The only one I have is because he was so good in those 3 scenes, I wanted more of Leto's character. He's not explained a lot. He just has his motives, and I'd like in a movie that's this long for more time to be dedicated to the movie's antagonist, if you're going to call him that. But he plays his role really well, but I was just kind of shocked how little he was in it, and I think I was just left wanting more from his character because I just think he was so good that he could have been the standout, and I don't think he had enough screen time to be the standout.
And we talked about earlier too when we were introducing it that Harrison Ford is put on as like a main title card for the movie, and he's only in like the final act. He's in the last like 45 minutes, and those 45 minutes are heavy with plot and awesomeness, and it's very great to have him in the movie. But he and Leto are not in it. Like, they're not in the entire movie, and it's not a bad thing. Like, it's not that big of a negative. But the difference between Leto and Harrison Ford is that I mean, Rick Deckard had his own movie, and that's why we know his character. We didn't know Jared Leto's character, and they had to develop it. I mean, they had that short film before, but that didn't do a lot of character explanation either. So he was just kind of placed. I agree with you.
I will say though, Ford, dude, this is one of Harrison Ford's best performances in a while. Like, he's in the last act, and his scenes are all really emotional. I thought he was fantastic. Actually, I found him really believable, and I actually thought his performance was actually better in this movie. I like Deckard in the first one, but you don't see a ton of sides of him.
Yeah,
you do. He is developed very well. He's a great character, but I think you see the more humane aspect of him in this one.
Oh, definitely. I mean, okay, so we look at it like his recent roles, and he's doing a lot of these reboots now. So now he's done the reboot for Blade Runner, he's done the reboot for Star Wars, and he's going to do the reboot for Indiana Jones. And I agree with you completely. He definitely felt like you could even tell he gave a shit in this movie. Definitely more into this than he kind of was into Star Wars. I mean, Han's kind of like a nonchalant character anyway, but you listen to like Harrison Ford's interviews surrounding The Force Awakens, like, I didn't think he wanted to do episode 7.
He said the reason he came back is because he got paid.
Yeah.
That's what he said.
And that's it. So, he definitely gave a shit about this one. And he did a great job. Yeah. He was awesome. So in our negatives about this movie, we just started talking about the more positives. This is a really great movie, so let's score this sucker on our not really trademarked, but trademarked Goldblum scale, the Jeff Goldblum scale. Mike, what are you rating it?
4 out of 5 Goldblums. I don't know why I said it like
4.2 out of 5 Goldblums.
I'm also giving it a 4.2 out of 5 Goldblums, so that's going to average out to 4.1 Goldblums out of 5. We're really around that Independence Day type of enjoyment. This is a really well done film. Understand that it is long, but it is so satisfying. It's a great movie. Watch the first Blade Runner before you go see this movie. Otherwise, you're not going to know what the fuck's going on.
True.
Did this movie need more Goldblum? Could it have used Goldblum? Where would Jeff Goldblum have fit into this movie? What if he was the police chief instead of Robin Wright?
Well, I was thinking. Or he was Joy. And Gosling's gay in it.
Yeah.
That would have ruined the movie.
Yeah, it wouldn't have been good.
I mean, he can be gay. There's not anything wrong with that.
I never said that.
I thought they were. I'll talk about it after the podcast for a second. I'm not going to talk about it now. There was something in the movie, but that's it. It's spoiler. So
Oh, okay.
That's the end of the
so
podcast.
We can't talk about spoilers. If there were robot people, what would you guys do with the robot people? Would you want to live side by side with the robot people?
I don't know. They're turned into slaves in this universe. I think that's a little harsh. But it's not living either. It's like fucking Westworld. Like, they develop these AIs so you care about them, but in a general sense, if they were actually robots, assuming they aren't able to develop an identity, then I'd use them for service as well.
But it is a question in both this and Westworld about whether or not they have souls and can actually think and act for themselves.
Yeah, so let's assume they can't. If they can, then they're almost like human-like, which is kind of a theme of this movie. But yeah, I don't know if robots were. I'd kind of be creeped out if robots were existing because you don't know who's real and who isn't.
And this goes back to our discussion a couple of weeks ago about the sex robots.
Yeah, Nick, are you in for the sex robot? The sex bot? All right, Nick's done.
Yeah.
You're in for the sex robots. But the thing was, our story was that people can hack into the sex robots and have them kill you. Give them death qualities and want to kill you.
I'm excluding myself from this conversation.
Why? It's an interesting topic.
I don't like it.
Are you insecure about it, Nick?
Sex robots that might kill you. It sounds like any other woman.
It's really misogynistic.
Femme fatale.
That was a little harsh, but just think about it.
Oh, do you know Buffalo wings are at an all-time high in price?
Yeah,
I like Buffalo wings.
I've noticed that, especially on with B-dubs. Buffalo Wild Wings.
Fuck B-dubs, dude.
You had 30 wings of B-dubs a week ago.
Yeah, I know. It was expensive.
It's $50.
With tip for the delivery guy, yeah, it was over $50. I ate them all though. It's not like it was a waste, but but
We aren't talking about anything right now.
all right, this is a pretty good place to end the podcast. Since we had our football discussion at the beginning, that was kind of the discussion topic for this episode. So we're gonna end it off right here. Thank you guys for listening to another week here. Please, go on our Facebook and Twitter pages. Give those a like. There are links in there to our SoundCloud and iTunes. You go in there, you subscribe, you show us some love on YouTube as well. We're on all of those. We appreciate your support. We love you as the listeners. Any final thoughts, gents?
There's no movie to see next week, so I don't know what we should do for that. We gotta figure something out.
Ooh, maybe we should just review an old movie.
That's what I'm thinking.
That'd be pretty
Maybe.
cool. We should watch Shawshank rated.
Everyone's gonna give that a perfect score.
I haven't seen it in a while. It'd be kind of cool to break down Shawshank.
We'll figure it out.
Yeah,
We'll figure it out. Yeah.
We'll have a podcast up for you guys next week. But
Nick,
Nick, any final?
Nick, did you
thoughts?
like this or Baby Driver more? You've seen now 2 movies on the podcast,
I like Blade Runner more than Baby Driver.
but you gave Baby Driver a higher score.
I did.
All right. A lot of fucking validity with this one. He's not coming back.
No.
Get him out of here.
All right. Once again, we love the listeners, and as always, thank you for listening.
Go Bears.
Yep.
What if God was one of us? Just a slob like one of